Yeah, welcome to the matchday reaction on the night when Liverpool have booked their place in this season's Carabao Cup quarter-finals. Another victory on the road for the Reds, this time over Preston North End 2-0. It's finished at Deepdale thanks to second-half goals from Takumi Minamino and Divock Origi. Jason McAteer and Neil Mellor watched all the action. Neil, it was by no means a classic, was it? But job done.
Yeah, job done. I think first half wasn't great. I think it was frustrating. You could see Liverpool weren't quite at it. 11 changes, and it was noticeable from that performance. Preston had the better chances, didn't take those chances, and that was key in the first half. Liverpool were improved. Second half, whatever the manager had to say, there was improvement second half, and in the end, the difference for me was that little bit of quality when it was needed. In the final third, we didn't have loads of chances, but when Liverpool needed to take those chances, Minamino first and then Origi taking it.
Yeah, it's... Go on, Joe, sorry.
Yeah, I think the quality eventually came to the forefront, didn't it, from Liverpool. I totally agree with Neil. I thought it was a disappointing first half, considering they had 79% possession, no shots on target. You know, it was a bit of a poor return, to be honest, but they looked slightly disjointed. You've got to give credit to Preston though. I thought they were well organised, 9 changes themselves. I thought they might have been the team that was disjointed and maybe caught in the headlights a little bit. But they were honest, they got back into position, they played deep, they didn't give Liverpool a lot of space to play with, they closed down really, really well. Like Neil said, he'll be really disappointed, McAvoy, the fact that they haven't gone in half-time without yielding at least one goal from the chances they created, because the two they had were really good chances, weren't they?
Big chances.
Yeah.
But Preston liked to play with a back three, but it was a back five because the wing backs are full backs. So the frustration we're talking about from a Liverpool point of view, there was no real space to get in behind, was there? Because they were so
tactically they got it right, didn't they?
And they were looking to counter attack, and they had the big chances, but weren't clinical. And in the end, at half time, I think the lads would have been sat there in the change room thinking, we've got away with one there. Still 0-0 when Preston should have been in front at half time. Yeah,
we can show you some of the stats from the game, as you say. Jay, 74% possession, I think
overall.
We have it here. But yeah, and 4 shots on target each. We can show you there. So, as you say, really, I guess it just underlines the dominance that Liverpool had, but until the end weren't able to convert.
Yeah, it was around, well, the possession stats are a lot smaller for the second half. They're about 66% when I looked. But obviously, we said the quality, you know, it comes out in the end, and obviously fatigue sets in and there's more space, and you know, Liverpool had a lot of very good technical players. I mean, Morton in the middle of the park, when he started getting on the ball with 25 minutes to go, half an hour to go, his range of passing started coming into the game. He had a bit more space, he could pick his pass, he could execute it, and that's where we got in, wasn't it, for the first goal. Second goal, it was, you know, commentary, the word audacious was used. It was a great bit of skill, wasn't it? It was one of them where he could have totally missed it, or it could have gone anywhere, but he gets good contact, Divock, and obviously that's when everyone calms down when you get the second goal.
Yeah, we'll talk about the first one because it came from Taki, but good work as well by Nico Williams in the build-up to it, Neil.
Yeah, it was interesting because the manager just made a tactical change just before that. He decided to put Nico Williams higher up the pitch rather than the right full-back position. Haven't seen a great deal of him higher up the pitch, but he's capable, and he offered that run in behind. I don't think we did that enough in the game, but he made that run in behind, and as you mentioned about Tyler Morton, he can pick that pass. You know, if he gets that movement ahead of him, he can pick that pass. Brilliant ball. Was he offside? Wasn't he? No VAR to worry about with all the lines being drawn, but he did well, Nico Williams, to create that chance. And Minamino had a quiet evening up till that point, but I liked his movement because he got ahead of the defender, and then he sort of guided that finish, so he showed that calmness and quality when it was needed.
It's refreshing, isn't it, to watch a game without VAR actually being a factor in it?
Well, we could still be sitting here now watching penalties if it wasn't, because it was
he offside?
It was a good call. Okay, no, it was a tight one. It was a tight one, but I think it might have gone Preston's way. I would have been disappointed had it gone to, if it was my team and it, you know, looked it.
The lines would have been out.
But yeah, I mean, Minamino, just to touch on there, I thought it was a frustrating night for him. You know, he's one of these players who likes to be involved, doesn't he? So if it's not really working out for him up top, he'll come deep. I mean, he'll go drop into midfield and try and get on it. And you know, that's the willingness of the player, and fair play to him. But I always think it's a sign of frustration when they're coming that deep to get a touch of the ball or get on it or make something happen, and that's what it was. It was a frustrating, certainly first half for him.
The thing as well, because he's coming so deep, there's no one running in behind. So Preston were like, okay, fine, you can go in there. It's congested. What are you going to do? Because there's no one running in behind.
And there was no space either in behind because, like Neil said, I mean, they're literally gone to a back five and they're so deep. You know, Divock couldn't get in behind. You know, neither could Minamino. We couldn't have midfield runners going in behind as well. So everything was played in front of them. And the honesty that they gave in the first 45 minutes, they stayed honest and compact. And like Neil said, it doesn't matter who goes into that midfield. There's no space. It's congested.
Yeah, it was a slog, wasn't it? That first 45, and probably up until that first goal. To be honest, a cliche to say that it needed a goal, but it did bring the game to life a bit, didn't it?
It did. It did. We made a change just before it, and it was actually our first shot on target in the game. You know, we're talking about Liverpool not doing enough in the final third, not asking questions enough of the goalkeeper, but it was that little bit of quality, that little bit of clinical edge when needed. You know, Preston will be sat in the dressing room thinking, if they would have been more clinical, would have put Liverpool under a little bit more pressure, 1-0, maybe 2-0, it could have been a different outcome. And that's why it makes such a difference if you can take those chances in the final third, Minamino doing at a key moment to get that opening goal.
And we need to focus a little bit more. I know we said it was audacious, but Divock Origi's second was outstanding, but also great work from Nico again to kind of that persistence to get the ball to him as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought he lost the opportunity, but yeah, I mean, it's one of them where it flashes across and it's more instinct, isn't it? I mean, you'd know as a striker. I mean, I was never
I was
really
thinking, have you done one of them crosses, like Tsimikas? Wait, it's nearly gone in. It's hit the bar, isn't it? It's crossed.
Yeah,
cross come shot.
I have done that. I mean, to be honest, I have put a cross in and it's hit the bar and then tried to make out it was a shot. But yeah, I have done that. And most full-backs or most wingers have done that in their career. But you're right, it was kept alive. But it's the fact that Divock, I mean, as a centre forward, you know, it's kind of instinct that comes at you and you're in a different body position, aren't you?
Outrageous. He's lobbed the keeper from 4 yards with his back heel. Don't see many.
I was going to say, have you ever done that?
No, definitely not.
I mean, Nico Williams nearly had a chance right at the end to make it 3, didn't he? But we've also got to give him credit for making a save virtually with his face in that first half.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, Adrian made a couple of big saves, but Adrian was beaten on that occasion, and I think it hits Nico full on the face. But he's wanting to get in that position on the line because it would have been a certain goal, and that would have been the opener. I think he should pass at the end. Do you know, he's got 2 assists, if we're going to give him those 2 assists. And he goes clean through. Minamino's there for a tap-in. I think at 0-0, he passes that.
You would have gone, yeah. No, well, at 0-0, you would have gone mental at him had he done that. But I still think he takes the shot because he's kind of wrapped up in the moment, isn't he? And he's gone through. It's like a rush of blood, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're so focused. He just wants to finish it for himself and take the glory, which I can understand. And certainly at 2-0, we'll let him off. But at 0-0, you're kind of saying to him, you need a bit more composure. You should be picking out the pass. You're probably coaching that after the game and speaking to him and stuff. But yeah, I can thoroughly understand. But going back to the save on the line, you know, yeah, I played in these games myself, and I said, you know, in the build-up, you know, Preston had found a way of playing against Liverpool. It become quite comfortable for them. It's more Liverpool, you know, sort of struggled, didn't need to break them down. If you go 1-0 up, then you've kind of got the formula to carry on defending. And you don't need to be adventurous. You don't need to come out and try and get another one. You hold on for dear life, and they kind of had the formula to do that. And I agree with you. I think it could have been a very, very difficult night had they taken one of them chances.